All right, so I got good news this morning. This morning at around 1 o'clock in the morning, my wife, myself, and all of our children got negative test results back from the county of San Bernardino. So that's good news moving forward for me. I'm not really sure what to expect just yet. I'm waiting to hear back from HR. But another piece of good news that was brought to my attention was that I wasn't actually like laid off. It was more of like being on furlough. So I am going to be compensated for the time that I missed at work. So that's another good thing moving forward. At this point in time, I'm not exactly sure what exact date I'm going to be able to go back to work. So I am still taking necessary precautions and keeping that social distancing aspect by staying home and not walking around town for no apparent reason. I really don't have any reason to be out in town unless we have immediate needs for like groceries and things like that. So I am taking every precaution that I possibly can. I can tell you guys that not wearing the mask for a few days has dramatically improved my overall breathing capability, and I haven't been coughing as much, so that's good. I also haven't been having as much chest pains, but I have also been going through various stressors leading up to this because there was a lot of unknowns kind of going into this. There was a lot of unknowns as far as like, okay, well, what happens if the shop closes and those of us that tested negative aren't being compensated? Like, what happens if we're sent home and we didn't have a positive or a negative test? And then there was some other things as far as like, well, when would the shop open if for whatever reason we did have to close the shop and things like that. So there are a lot of unknowns really kind of like it was a scary thing to say the least, okay? So I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and tell you that like there wasn't an immense fear factor. I think you guys kind of gathered that from my last video post. I had a lot of support in the comments as far as that video was concerned, but it really wasn't meant to be a sympathetic video. If anything, I was being empathetic to those that actually were going through it or are going through it, because I myself was going through it. And I didn't really have any answers to a lot of the questions that I had. The only thing that I knew for certain was that there was a possibility that I could have contracted it because of the few people that I was in contact with that did actually have it. I'm very much looking forward to getting back to work and getting back into the regular swing of things. I hope moving forward we don't have to worry about another scare like this, but there is a possibility since this thing is still out and about and very much active right now with it being in the winter months. Some of the comments, I gotta tell you, man, it was just like, dude, what the hell? Like, I seen some comments that was like, stop being a little, get back to work. It's not my choice, okay? This was not my choice to begin with. I was asked to go home, thus I went home. I had some other comments too. Oh, he's just jumping on the bandwagon. What bandwagon are you possibly talking about, okay? Because this is a serious thing. This is something that I've been having to deal with for the last few weeks over at our shop. And we've had a huge rise in numbers in my local area. This isn't a joke. It's not something that I take lightly. When this pandemic first broke out, there was like all of 2 people that actually contracted it in our area. And then after that, we went into the spring and summer and it was like it just went away. And then going into the mid-fall, going closer towards the wintertime, that's when we had like this huge, enormous outbreak. So I'm not taking it lightly, okay? This is a serious thing. There are people that are seriously being impacted and affected by it, and people that are dying from it. So understand this. This is not a joke. This is something that I decided to share with you that was very personal, that I didn't have to. I could have just gone off the grid and not have done anything for couple of weeks to a month, and then you guys would have been like, where'd you go, bro? Because I've had that happen in the past too. So in order to keep you guys up to date on what's going on with me in my life, I decided to share this piece of information with you. But understand this was not a joke. This was never intended to be a joke. There's no freaking bandwagon behind it, okay? This is the reality that I'm living in. I'm sorry that a lot of you think that it is a joke and you are taking it too lightly, but that's all on you. That has nothing to do with me or what's going on with my shop or what's going on with my family. So to those people that did make various comments, I've flagged you permanently from the channel, and I hope I never see you ever again, really. So that's all I got to say about that. So I am looking forward to getting back to work, getting back into the swing of things, getting my groove back. I do appreciate all the support that I've gotten from you guys and the comments that I did get, coming up with new content ideas and questions that you've had, and it's helped me to actually kind of keep my mind off of doing nothing by creating discussion topics for you guys as a result of the comments. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, keeping me entertained as I keep you guys entertained. So we'll see you guys next video. Cheers and deuces.